New research has found that almost 1 million young people have tried vaping this year alone, with that 1 million figure indicating there's been no decline in the use of e-cigarettes amongst young people.
The report from Action on Smoking and Health says this issue is now a matter of urgency to protect the health of children. Now, we've got an image here that you may find distressing. It's of our guest, Ewan Fisher, who nearly died after taking up vaping at 16 years old. He then needed 10 weeks in hospital and an artificial lung to keep him alive. We're joined now by Ewan alongside Dr. Hilary. Hi, Ewan. You speak out on this issue, don't you? You've been on this show before. What do you make of this statistic that 1 million young people between just the fact that somebody 11 would, you know, never mind 17, but between 11 and 17, 1 million young people have already tried vaping this year? What's going wrong here in terms of you're trying your best to tell people don't do it? It's not getting through yet.
Yeah, no, it's a crazy stat, and it's unbelievable to think that many young people are doing such a thing. But I'm seeing it, like, more and more now, firsthand. Do you know, just walking around the streets and going wherever, I'm just seeing children everywhere vaping, and it's kind of not adding up, because obviously when I was doing it, I was still underage, and it wasn't like a bad thing at the time, but it wasn't as noticed as it is now. Everywhere you go, there's young people doing it.
Why did you take it up in the first place? How old were you?
So I was 16 when I taken vaping up, and I took it up because I was smoking beforehand, which I got into through peer pressure. But I was trying to pursue a boxing career, so I thought if I change from smoking to vaping, then things. Because
that is almost still the message. Vaping is better than smoking.
Yeah, I know, and I don't know how that can keep being put across as that.
Right.
After everything that's happened to me, I'm kind of the person that knows how much it can affect your life.
Dr. Hilary, let us kind of, in a moment, come to what the latest health advice is. But first of all, I mean, am I right to say, are we right to say, that a few years ago we got the public health messaging wrong and we gave the impression that vaping was OK because it wasn't as bad as smoking, and lots of parents and young people kind of heard from the government, you know, that actually vaping, you know, is fine.
Yeah, it almost certainly is. It's safer than smoking tobacco. However, it's not without harms. It's not without risks at all. I mean, it can be addictive. It can lead to psychological and physical damage and even dependency. So it's not without risk at all. And whilst it's useful for adults who've been smoking for a long time as an aid to stop smoking, it's not good to take it up in the first place thinking it's absolutely safe.
Hilary, Ewan did take that. He was smoking and then took up vaping, but it was absolutely dreadful outcomes for you. So what actually happened? You were choking in your sleep, all sorts of things are happening. Tell us exactly what led to this photograph that we've seen of you, which must be quite weird for you to see it now. Yeah,
100%. Obviously, I look back at it quite often just to keep me kind of on a good mindset and humbled kind of thing, because it has changed my life and it's made me a better person for who I am today.
What happened?
So it all started off with I was in my sleep choking. I'd obviously been having quite a few, I was coughing a lot beforehand, but I didn't think that it would have came to this. And then my mum woke me up in the middle of the night and took me to the local hospital. And at first they refused me, told me that nothing's wrong, to obviously go back home and see if everything gets better. And we weren't leaving. There was no way my mum would let me leave because she knows that I wasn't right. And then they put me back on the machinery and it all was going off and it was beeping really, really bad. And you know, when all the machines are beeping and stuff, you know something's not quite right. And my oxygen levels were really low. And I got put onto a ward, and then from down there it just went downhill, really. I got put on 2 different life support machines and I was in a coma, and then I got moved to Leicester on an ECMO machine, which saved my life, and I'm so grateful for it.
I mean, Dr. Hilary, we've had the Chief Medical Officer on our programme in the last few months saying to young people, do not vape, because putting these substances into your lungs is not safe and you shouldn't do it, and that's right, isn't it?
Absolutely. Intuitively, you don't want to put anything that isn't pure, clean air into your lungs. But if you look at the marketing, you think what people are allowed to do. There's 3 vapes here in front of me. One is watermelon lemon flavoured, one is blackcurrant and apple flavoured, the other blueberry. They make it attractive. They put flavourings in it.
Sounds like
What
slushies
for?
that you get at the cinema for your kids as a
They're
treat.
marketing this stuff like toys,
Yes.
like games. And actually, it's dangerous. So we need the Tobacco and Vapes Bill to be passed. We need to regulate these things much more closely, and we need to find people who are selling illegal products which contain anything. Not just the regulated ones aren't so bad, but the unregulated ones, of which there are many, many, sold online and from unregulated places, they can cause a huge amount of harm.
I'm going to press you just one more. Sorry.
No, do. I want to ask you something. Yeah.
Dr. Hillary, I believe that a few years ago, 5 years ago, the medical profession and the chief medical officers at the time gave the impression to people that vaping was OK.
Yep.
And part of our problem today is that there is still that sense around there. Do you think, in retrospect, the experts got it wrong a few years ago and they should have been tougher?
Well, I think what the experts thought was, we use nicotine replacement therapy in the form of patches, lozenges and gels and things like this, and they do help people to get off tobacco. That's one good thing. When people find it difficult to use chewing gum or patches, the throat hit that you get from a vape or the slower release of nicotine you get from a vape compared to tobacco is better than smoking.
Yeah.
That's what they got right. But yes, they gave the impression that it was entirely safe, and that's wrong. It's not safe at all.
And really, for you, Ewan, if this wasn't in a little pink thing that said blueberry, sour raspberry or apple, double apple or triple mango in nice little colours, and it's always just by your eye line, if this was a sort of black box that was behind a shutter or something, do you think that would make a difference to kids wanting to buy them? I don't know. What do you think needs to change?
Yeah, I do, obviously, because that happened with the cigarette packaging and stuff like that. And I don't know what the statistics were on that, but from what I've seen, it is kind of like off-putting, like the sort of photos of people like not very well in hospital and stuff on cigarette packaging. So if they was to do that on vape packaging and actually put them behind shutters instead of right on the front shelf of every single shop that you go into, then I really do think that it could have a big difference on like how many youths are starting to vape.
Well, I hope that people see the photograph of you and really take that on board, because I know you're still recovering. You still have issues, don't you, with your health?
100%.
And that was 6 years on now.
Yeah.
In Australia, vapes are now therapeutic goods. From July, you have to have a prescription, and you have to only get it from a pharmacy if you're going to vape to give up smoking.
And do you think Australia is ahead of us?
Yeah.
Is that where we're going to go?
Very much so. I hope so.
It's a
great idea.
Really good.
Yeah. Well, Ewan, it's absolutely fantastic to see you doing well.
Thank you again.
Counting exams, you're doing all sorts of brilliant things. So we wish you well for the future.
Thank
Keep talking about it, because it really hits home.
Really.
Doctors can talk about it, we can talk about it, but really you're talking as a young person to young people in the summer holidays, so it makes a massive difference.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
It's very important what you're doing.
It really, really is. I have to say that my son notices vapes in every shop we go to. In every shop we go to, his eyes dart to it. The key rings are there, the sweets are there, the vapes are there, and it's all one thing to him.
Well,
and he picks up on it all the time.
That is designed to look like smoking.
Yeah.
And to kind of give the impression of it's cool and safe, and it's not.
Yeah, exactly. Thank
Absolutely.
you, Ewan. Yeah, and Dr. Hills, thanks.